Hey up, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be to get the rest of this fitted, but we've had snow, so that's held us back. It's been raining, it's been horrible. I didn't want to crawl around underneath the van in all that manky weather. And also I've been really busy photographing Santa over the last couple of weeks. It's been really busy for the newspapers the last few weeks. These are a couple of the pictures here. Santa? Do you like Santa? To be fair, I'm a little bit sick of the sight of him, to be honest, but hey ho. Anyway, getting back to fitting this, as you can see. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen part one, there's a link to that up there, or up there, I believe it is. So you can click back on that. We've already got the exhaust fitted, and the air intake fitted, and the fuel line fitted. So now, what I'm going to get on with today is, I'm going to fitted all of this through the hole in the floor, which is under there, and we'll see how we get on from there. Find out how we're going to clamp these under the van and keep them in position. Oh yeah, I forgot one of the other reasons that I couldn't get on with this was I hurt my back doing it last time, so I'm going to have to be careful this time. So all of this is going to have to go down through the hole, and then this fuel line, that'll come back up through this hole here and go to the fuel pump. Oh, it doesn't help that I'm having to lean over this, digging in my chest. Oh, he does like a good whinge, that lad. There we go. I don't know what you're whinging about. There you go. It's going to be something like that. Right, let's get underneath, see what's happening down there. You can see where it's coming through and where I'm going to have to seal round it as well. So here's the fuel line, which will be going back through this hole here, and I thread it through, and it's finding out, wondering where to put these things here. Oh, we do have some holes going through. Right, so possibly be able to get some kind of bracket. It's a bit hard working under it. So this one comes in the kit. Now it fits this one lovely. So I can use that, and also there's this bracket which fits onto there. Now it's supposed to be pointing down over, so this little nodule points down over, so I might have to loosen that off a bit and spin it round. And it says pointed away, so, well, I don't know what it means. None of the other YouTube videos show you this bit underneath, or not very much, and I think this is an important part. That's why I'm showing you now. Obviously I'm learning as I'm going along too. Let me have a think about it and I'll be back to you in a minute. Right, I've had to think about it, and I wanted it to point out that way so that any fumes were going out of the van, but I just can't figure out a way to use this bracket to fasten that to there. It won't go on there, it's too stiff to fasten on there. So the other idea is that's going to fasten onto there, and that's going to fasten up there. So this thing here is just the air intake. Now I think I'm just going to put some ties, you know, the tie wrappy things around there. Yeah, and I think that's going to be stable enough for that. So that doesn't get hot at all, it just takes in cold air. This one will get hot, so no tie wraps on that. Fastened up there, on there like that. Right, let's get on with it. So I've got some of this no-nonsense acrylic sealant, which is heat resistant and fire resistant up to 4 hours apparently, and I'm just going to seal around just the bottom there, and then I'm going to seal around here as well. Oh, I'll be getting them while I'm making a mess. Oh. Oh, God, that's digging in. Love silicone, me. And we got a seal all the way around here. Just to make sure there's no fumes coming up. I bet I'd have been better off just putting it on there. It's too late now. Oh God, I'm going to make a right mess here, Anna. I think I've been a fool. Right, let's try one of these screws. Not big enough. I haven't got any bolts that go all the way through 80mm bolts. So I think this will be fine. Anyway, you get the general idea. Right, I've now got to thread this wire through this hole, and hopefully Brenda's on the other side to pull it through. Are you there?
Yep, you sense something moving about.
Slowly, slowly. Go on. I think there's a fucking knot in it. Right, slow. Go on. That's it. So, I'm going to try and silicone round here. It's not going to be easy. Got it all over here. Go and get some lunch and have another go after dinner. Lunch or dinner, what we're calling it today. I'm a northerner, so we call it dinner. Not lunchtime. Right, that's it. Right, I've had my lunch. I've got these really big ties. I don't know whether you can see that. Big thick ties. They're not gonna break in a hurry. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put them on and we'll see. Seems quite strong. It's nice and tight. No, that's squeezing the pipe. Oh good, cut it off. You can see what it's done there, to squeeze the pipe. That's no good. Right. Let me think. Maybe as if I put it in one of them clamps over it and fasten the tie to the clamps. These ties might be a bit too thick. I'll go and find some littler ones. Right. So I've got these clamps. Put one of them clamps on, and I'm just going to fasten that around there. I don't know. I don't think this is the best idea in the world, to be honest. I'll put some more on. I've brought some more. Fasten it onto that bit as well. I'll check these after I've been out in the van, see what they look like. It seems pretty stable. Now, I've said this earlier on in the video, or in the fest video. This hole in the top there is to fasten the bracket on, to fasten it to part of the van. And this hole in the bottom is for any moisture, condensation, whatever it is, to drip out. Because that's probably, I don't know, not a scientist, but it's probably sulfuric acid or something. And that will rot it away. I don't know, it could be just water vapour for as far as I know. So now, this little chap is going to fasten something like that there. So I've managed to get the bracket on even though it didn't fit. I've had to take this whole thing off, put it in the workbench and get it on. So I'm now going to mark these spots here, drill some holes in, and somehow try and screw into there. No, it's not going any bloody well. Oh. Well, it seems to be doing something. There we go. These are soft tapping screws, 8mm head on them. Oh, this isn't easy, is it? It might not be as hard for somebody who's not as old as me and a little bit fitter, a bit more nimble, shall we say. It's going in, right, bring it out. Wrong way. It's sort of spinning, but that feels pretty stable. It's pretty strong. Let's bring the camera around. Hopefully you can see that. So I've got the one bolt in there, one bolt in there as well, and it all seems pretty stable to me. If I find it's rattling or anything, I'll put another one in. That's the underneath bit done, I think. So now I'm going to get on with putting the fuel line in, and then I'll need to go and get some diesel. Hopefully I can get some red diesel from somewhere on the marina maybe. Right, that's all the underneath bit done. Hopefully that's, well, I don't know why I'm doing a thumbs up. Fingers crossed. Hopefully that's all okay. So now it's time for the fuel line installation even. So now we need to get the fuel from the tank to the diesel heater. And this is the fuel pump, and we have to sort of work out where this is going to go. Now, I've heard they're a bit noisy, and I've seen they're a bit noisy. For now, though, I'm just going to put it under the seat. So hopefully it doesn't disturb us when we're in bed. But it might disturb us while we're sat here watching TV. I don't know. I'll just have to see what it's like. If it's too noisy, I'm sure it's not a fortune to buy some more fuel line and put it somewhere else. Can't be that difficult, can it? So that has to go to the power at some point, so it can't be too far away from the fuse box. We've also got a fuel filter as well, so that bit will be going in the back with the fuel tank. Right, let's have a look, see where it's going to go. It has a little rubber holder to fasten it to where it's going to go. So apparently the fuel comes in this end and out of that end, and you know by this little electrical connection. So I've seen on YouTube anyway, so hopefully that's the right way. So this fits inside this rubber housing, and that supposedly stops some of the ticking noise. Right, I've decided it's going to go round about there. It means the pipe's not too close to the B2B, and it's not encroaching over on this space too much either. Let's get cut through this wire. I keep calling it wire, it's quite clearly not wire at all. So now we need a little bit of this pipe to go on the end of there, and it'll also join on the end of there. So it needs to be about, let's take that off, little protector. I'm going to say about that much. It's the same on the other side as well. And that already smells of fuel, so it must have been tested. Quite tough. Do not forget to put these on, because that would be stupid. Went on quite easy. Not too bad. I might as well fasten that up while I can. Where's that screwy driver gone? Now I've seen some people soak a little bit of pipe in some hot water to make it more malleable, but actually that went in pretty damn easy. That's better, eh? That's pretty damn tight. So now we have to get that into there. I think that's in far enough. So right, let's get that fastened on there. So it's the same on the other side as well. Anyway, you get the idea. So, I've got the other side on. It's all nice and tight. Obviously, when we get the fuel in, I will check that it's fine, you know, and it's not leaking. What are you doing? This bloody thing in the way. If you can put it somewhere where it hasn't got all this, good on you. Oh, is this knackered or what? Have I got a knackered one? So there you go, that's the pump connected up. Of course, we're going to need the electrical wiring on that. Can you see? Can you see me problem? So I'm going to have to loosen that off, turn it around and fasten that underneath. But yeah, the wiring is fine. So here's a little tip. So that goes on that way, like that. Just clips onto that square there. But that's in the way. So when you're fastening that on, make sure you put that underneath. No one else has told you that, have they? Well, all that crawling about under the van has got me very tired and my back's aching again. So I'm going to call it a day for now. Call it a day, call it a night. It's getting dark anyway. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll get it up and running. Fingers crossed again. Good morning, I'm back on it after a lovely night's sleep. It's pouring down again. I don't know whether you can see out of that window. That's a good thing about this 360 camera. I know it's not the best quality in the world for recording, but when you're working on your own, it's really easy just to plonk it there and move it around a little bit and you can just record everything that's going. And the sound's not too bad either. So, right, what we're going to do here is we have to run the fuel line from the pump all the way to the back, to the tank. And we've got a fuel filter to put in there as well. But this bit, just going to be out in the open for now, I've decided that I could put it inside some of this conduit, and that'll keep it a little bit safer, won't it? Nearly. Cut away from yourself, lad. Not towards. Just a bit of extra protection, that's all. Right, try not to cut yourself this time. Because I take some among with me other diseases and well, not diseases but conditions that I have. I suffer with atrial fibrillation. Let me know if you suffer with that as well. It's a pain. It really is a pain as well when it happens. I'm one of the unfortunate ones that when it happens I get pains in my chest and it really hurts. You feel like you're dying. So yeah, let me know if you have that. Oh, I have cut myself, look. So when your heart goes into AF, as we call it, it can cause a stroke because of the clotting of the blood in your heart. So you take anticoagulants. So when you cut yourself a little bit like that, it tends to keep on bleeding for a while. So you got to be careful. You do. Here we go. That's better. And I haven't got it with us because I've got the wrong trousers on. But I have to carry around a little card which would tell any paramedics or anything if I was in a car crash or something or pass out in the street that I take anticoagulants so I don't bleed to death. Right, next bit, I'm going to put a bit more conduit across there where it's going to go across the back of the toilet. I'm always whinging about something. Let's go and get a plasterer. And somehow I'm going to have to try and thread it through. Could really do with a little person under the bed to see where it's coming through. Where's Brenda when you need her? You can just about see the wire, not wire, tubing poking through there. It's only just going to reach, isn't it? So if you've got a bigger van, make sure you buy some extra pieces of this or put your diesel heater in a different place. Alright, so we're going to have to connect it to the bottom of there with the fuel filter too. I've got the toilet back in position now and the piping all inside the conduit down there. I don't know whether you can see. I'm going into the back of the cupboard and I've threaded it around there. And that's down behind there, so that's fine and dandy. Right, now I need to fit the fuel line, and so I need 3 more bits of this, so I'm going to cut it into 3 and get them fastened onto this and then fasten them to the pipe as well. Right, let's get these fastened on. So they just push on. He says, yeah. And another piece. Strong arm. I love that. I don't know what these other ones are. Cameron's IPA. Don't remember that. Cameron's Gold Bullion. Don't remember that. But strong arm is definitely still going. I mean, these two might be still going, but strong arm is definitely still going. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's has to be good though. When it's bad, but when it's good, it's good. Alright, so the obvious, just fasten these on. Got myself a better screwdriver. So it's plastic inside, so you don't want to over tighten it. It's always difficult to know, isn't it, how tight to do it. And if you do need to nip it up with this, as you can see there, it's a 7mm one that fits on. You know, you can get a bit more grip on, but that's plenty tight. Right, let's get one on the other side and then get the tubing fixed onto it. Now the instructions aren't as bad as what people make out, but also they are lacking in some points, as in telling you which way the fuel pump goes and the fuel filter as well. But due to my research, shall we say, that's Paul Messner, I watched him a couple of times, it looks like the fuel goes in this way, so from the tank this way and out to the fuel pump that way, which looks a bit bonkers to me, but apparently so, that's the way it goes. So I've got the pipe stuck in and screwed on. Now the difficult part is I've got to try and get this. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. It's a good job I'm only little, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to have to take it out. Hey ho, never mind. It stopped raining for a few minutes. So I got on with taking the tank out and fastening the tubing onto the bottom of it. It was much easier that way. And then I tried it back in, but as you can see, there still isn't enough room there. So I'm going to somehow raise that up so it's a bit higher. Right, I think I'll go and have some lunch first. Lunchtime! Right, back from lunch, all filled up. I'm getting fatter by the second. Anyway, oh, must apologise for the scruffiness as well. Right, I've got the where am I? I've got the tank back in. I had to raise it up a little bit. I don't know whether you can see the chocks underneath. Now we need to put this in line there. Trying not to cut the old fingers. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on so I know that I've definitely pushed it in. It's really hard under here. This is why I'm making a lot at the end of the day. You can see it's gone up to the tape. It's really difficult. Yeah, that's good. Now on the other side. So I want to know how far this pipe is actually going inside the outer pipe, the outer tubing. So I've just put a little bit of tape on because it's hard to tell how far you're pushing in. Then I'll know that I'm getting it in far enough. So there you go, job done. It's squeezing the pipe together, so it must be pretty tight. So apart from just fastening that bit of conduit down, that's the pipe fitted. So now it's getting on with the electric. Oh, and we're going to need some diesel at some point, I guess, aren't we? Won't work on fresh air, lad. So let's take a look at the wiring. What have we got here? Looks a bit like spaghetti junction, doesn't it? But it's quite simple because they have been clever and made it so the connectors all can only connect to where they're supposed to go. So we've got the little remote control here, and we've got the control panel. That will obviously fit into that one, because it's the only one that fits. This one goes into, you probably can't see it, but that one goes into the bit what comes out of the diesel heater itself. And we have another one on this end. And this one goes to the pump. And you just have to press that in. And you can see that opens the wires there. And the two other loose wires I didn't mention are, we've got the positive and we've got the negative, which will be going into the fuse box with a 20 amp fuse apparently. So that's what I've been told anyway. Right, so I think the first one what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this end onto the pump. Now I've moved the little holder round. Jubilee clip, that's the word I'm looking for. There, that seemed to click into position. Yep, that seems right. Nice and tight. Now the next one we shall do is this one. Surely it only goes in one way. Yep, you can see it lines up. We've got a ridge on there. We've got a ridge on there. So I'm guessing they line up. Let's see if this one clicks. Yeah, that's what I like, a nice click. This one didn't do a nice click, did it? It just sort of like pushed on. I'm sure it's fine though. And the next one, of course, is the controller itself. I'm just going to leave the little remote control fastened to it for now, till we get it going. So that one just goes in there, just like that. Yeah, nice satisfying click. Because the negative wire coming from the diesel heater wasn't long enough really, so I've had to put a little joint in the middle there. And I've also put a little ring thingy doodah on the end. And also I'm going to put one on the end when I get my speckies on. A bit of a twist. Put one on the end of the positive one as well. These are good little, handy little doodahs to have. It's a wire stripper, and it also has the different colours on there, so you line it up with which colour you want when you want to tighten it on. So line it up with the blue one, give it a jolly good squeeze, and there you go, all ready to go into the fuse box. There we go, not too tight. Right, so 20 amp fuse apparently. Essentially that's the wiring done. So let's pop this fuse in, keep an eye on that. There we go. Have we got anything? Well, there you go, that's got to be promising, hasn't it? Says I don't know what this little minus thing is. I'm going to take that fuse out, and I think I'm going to go and get some diesel. Right, we've got half a tank in there. Cost me £6 something from Asda. Just having a look. Doesn't appear to be any leaks. Nothing on the floor there. So, right, let's get it going. So let's pop this fuse back in. There we go, we're on. Now, this looks different to what I've seen other people's look. I'm not sure what this negative sign is here. No entry sign as far as I know. So what people have been doing is pressing the two bottom ones, and it's supposed to say H off. Maybe I should take the fuse out and start again. Read the instructions maybe. Surely that will reset it. Right, we'll have a little look at the instructions. Right, you can follow me. It says operation priming. Push the power button to turn the heater on. Power button pushed. Hold down OK and push down. Oh, it appears to be doing something. Hold down OK and push down. You should see the off button. I'll try and work it out and then I'll show you what we have to do. Well, I don't know what I've done, but I can hear the pump pumping, which is what it does to make the fuel come through. It wasn't what I did on here, and it certainly didn't correspond with what it says on there, but it's doing something, so I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. I know it takes a while for it to pump this stuff around. Oh, we'll see. I'm guessing once it's primed you don't have to do it again. It's getting louder. How long do you want to wait? I'll turn it off and come back. Well, there appears to be fuel in there, so it's obviously pumped it through into there. Right, the fuel's definitely coming through, but isn't getting all the way around. Obviously not, it has to burst into life yet. It hasn't burst into life yet, so it has to go down that hole, underneath the van, and then back up into the diesel heater itself. But that looks promising, doesn't it? It's definitely diesel coming through there. It suddenly burst into life. You can hear it. It's showing you this at the moment, if you can see that. But you can hear the motor itself is going a bit mad. And I'm getting some warm air out of there. It's not hot yet, but it's definitely warm. So that's got to be promising, hasn't it? The whole setup thing just didn't do it for me. What I think has happened is when I've pressed the start button, it has just tried to turn itself on. It wouldn't let me go into the priming mode at all. I've seen other people have bother with this as well, but it's kept on trying. I think it's had 3 goes now, and it's finally got the diesel round, as you've just seen going through the pipe. So yeah, let's wait and see how hot that gets. So it's already been primed, it's already been on, it was toasty warm. I'm just going to try it again now after it's cooled down. So press and there you go, it's powering on now. And this H is the hertz, I believe, the hertz setting. I'm not entirely sure, but you can turn that up and down. So it's gone down to 2, and down to 3, and that's basically the temperature gauge. Well, not the temperature gauge, the temperature you want it setting as. So once you've got it to what you want it on, you just press OK. That. I do believe it's saying that's 44 degrees. Well, of course, no. Why would it say 44 degrees? I don't know. Let's go down one. Check that. Not entirely sure where all this H setting thing is, but it's definitely the power of the machine. So, you know, if you set it on 4, the hotter it gets. The 22 degrees, I'm not sure what that means. I don't believe it's that hot in here at the moment. Possibly could be. There's the motor is just clicked in there, so we'll just give it a minute or so and we'll see how hot it gets. So at the moment it's just powering up. It does this sequence where it blows the cold air through first. Must be just to make sure that the motor's cold enough for it to start, and then it'll just burst into life. And it really was hot, but I'm just going to try and show you how hot it gets. You can hear it sort of getting a bit louder now. There, that's starting to get warm now. Now that is super hot. That was too hot to hold, and this is actually getting red hot as well. I'm really happy with that, I think. I hope you can hear me. So let's turn it off and let it cool down. and then I'm going to go and have a bath. So press and hold, I believe. There you go. It's gone off now, so it will go into its cooling down period, which is what that sign's saying there. I don't know whether you can see. So it's starting to blow some cool air through. So we'll leave it at that. Pack it all away. Right, that's the end of this little video. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I do hope you've learned something. There's a few little tips on the way there. Don't forget to watch the first episode if you've missed that one. I'm very pleased with how it's going at the moment, and it didn't seem too loud either. So we'll see how we get on over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully everything will be good. And if you've enjoyed it, will you please give us a thumbs up? If you've learned something, give us a thumbs up and subscribe as well. It's absolutely free, you know. And we'll be back another time to do something else. Now we've got a heater in, we can go away in the winter. So keep a lookout for them travel videos. Right, we'll catch you next time, and hope you have a lovely Christmas if we don't see you before. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye now.